Welcome to the Dynasty Football Key. Today we're going to look at a tier list for tight ends in the 2024 seasons, Dynasty and beyond. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to go ahead and throw in Brock Bowers. No, it's going to be Sam Laporta. And Brock Bowers, I'm going to actually have in this list with him. He's a tight end that is coming out as the best prospect of all time. Still, Sam Laporta had one of the best tight end seasons of all time. So it's really hard to deny what he just did. Really good offense. Everything is clicking for them from what it looks like. So Sam Laporta at number one. Brock Bowers in this tier. He's got a lot to do to climb up into that tier. But from a dynasty perspective, he's got a long time to solidify that he should be in this tier. And he's someone that's used in the passing game and run game all over the field. He can really be used as a weapon. We need to see it happen in the NFL. So this could still be a reach, but I don't see him falling much further below than the A tier. And I'm going to keep going from here because those guys do have the age on their side. There's a lot of other good tight ends here, but really, age is a big factor. Age and health. I've got Dalton Kincaid in this A tier. Yes, I do still have Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews in this tier, and Trey McBride. Um, guys who I don't expect to always be the number one option in their offense. McBride was for a period this season. They're adding Marvin Harrison Jr. potentially, or some receiver of that similar caliber. Kincaid probably won't be the number one, but I do think there'll be at least number two options in their offenses. Kelce, his retirement is coming at some point in the future, so I can see him being below this tier, to be honest. It's just the production. He was still the number three tight end this year. He had been the number one tight end many seasons before then, except for the time that Mark Andrews was the number one tight end. And he's got the best quarterback in the league. So that's more of a situation, or are you trying to win now type of a scenario. But if you're looking for the best production at tight end, he's in that top five from what we've seen. Going forward, we'll see who can supplant him there. But unless he says he's retiring, it did look like he still had something left in the tank. I've got TJ Hawkinson here as well. Still has some age on the side. Unfortunately, that knee injury seems to be pretty significant. So that could hurt his mobility. That's just something we'll have to get more reports on as the offseason progresses. I like his ability to still be in this top tier of the tight ends. I've got Kyle Pitts in this tier as well. A really good prospect. He's getting a new coach, offensive coordinator, complete staff around him. There are other weapons on that team in Drake London and Bijan Robinson who are pass catching threats. So unfortunately, Pitts may not end up being the number two target in his offense, but he might. Bijan had a lot of catches, though. I just think really good tight end needs to be a top two focal point in the offense for our fantasy teams to really thrive. I've got in this next tier, really great season by David Njoku. Even though there's a lot of tumultuous quarterback scenarios, and I think he took off when Joe Flacco entered. Still, it's him and Amari Cooper as the top two receivers. I like what Njoku can bring to the table this season. He may just now be entering his stride. We've got George Kittle in this tier, a little bit older, but he's been on a championship caliber roster. I could see Brandon Ayuk leaving and Kittle having to step up to be a bigger part of the offense. I feel like currently it's been a lot of every other game he may play well type of seasons after seasons. So we'll see what happens when one of those guys leave. Jake Ferguson in this tier, steady target for Dak Prescott. And, just like with Dalton Schultz, maybe they don't re-sign him. They've had a really good history of drafting tight ends successfully. So we'll see how long he's with Dallas. But for right now, he's proven that he can play and get a lot of touchdowns. And I'm just going to start filling out some more of these tiers. Young Michael Mayer down here needs a quarterback upgrade, but he can play. Cole Kmet, I'll put him ahead because Kmet has delivered. It's just he's got a new quarterback coming in. Well, that team has a lot of draft capital. We'll see what they do, but they've already re-signed Cole Kmet the season before this one. They believe in him. He's young. I can see him rising. It's just it hasn't been the identity of the offense to go through him all the time. Evan Ingram, there's a lot of wide receivers in this wide receiver core, but he was one of the top tight ends this past season. Scored a lot of points on a PPR basis, so that's really good. Didn't really get many touchdowns, and will be 25, or excuse me, he will be 30 this next season. Still, he's proven to be really good, athletic tight end. Next tier, I'm going to start with Luke Musgrave here. He could be higher if he didn't have Tucker Kraft on his team, who may eat into that, and also all of the other receivers on the team may eat into the target share. So I just don't see either of them getting a top workload. All right, and Dalton Schultz, I have him ahead of those guys. I'll put him right in the middle of them because I don't think long term Schultz has the same opportunity that these players have. Still, right now he's with CJ Stroud, so wherever you might have them, I'll go ahead and throw in Jatavian Sanders here. Dallas Goedert. Goddard should definitely be ahead. I think we'll just slide those Packers tight ends down. Cade Otton, he's been the number one tight end pretty much his whole career, but the production just has not been there, and it doesn't seem like that will change. Mike Evans may leave. If he doesn't, I just don't see a really great opportunity for Cade Otton to produce. And got Pat Fryermuth in this tier as well. He may be better than. I mean, Pat Fryermuth is great. He may be better than Jatavian Sanders. It's just the offense. The quarterback hasn't been able to get the ball to a tight end. It's really just gone to the receivers and the running backs. They just have not featured the tight end at all. And I'll go ahead and throw in Isaiah Likely, who's a backup on his team, and Waller, who's a little bit older, a lot of injury issues. There's a nagging issue that he just could not get away from this past season, and it sounded very serious, as in, he's just something that will recur each season. So knowing he's going to be injury prone, a little bit older on a team that is having quarterback turmoil, in 2025, we just don't expect the quarterback to be the same. He may not be on the team. It's just a tough spot for Waller here. But overall, this is the 2024 tight end tiers. And the tight end room is getting a little bit better than it was a few years back. Still, we've got some of the same names, and we got a couple, or actually maybe 5 really young players in Laporta, Bowers, Kincaid, McBride, and Pitts. So fighting time for the quarterback positions. We'll see if anyone else rises. Let me know who I may have missed or who you think should be a little bit higher, and I hope to see you in the next video.